So the update is that I am moving. No, it's very bittersweet because if you had asked us, we both would say we prefer to be in New York a little bit longer, but that was not the case. At this point, I don't know what job I'm going to have. I'm hopeful that I will have a job. We got the news that we will be moving to... What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to, what do I even call this? A bake with me? A bake and talk shit with me? A bake and life rant, life updates. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I had an idea to do a video like this a very long time ago, and I actually filmed one. This was back when I was living in Delaware, so like years ago. And I don't think I ever posted it, but I enjoy the idea of doing it, of just being able to bake because I love to bake, but I feel like I don't do it enough on this channel because I really don't know how to incorporate baking content into the content that I already make because I don't really do tutorials. I don't know. But then also the ability to kind of just like let my guard down and talk about things that are on my mind, maybe things that are making me stressed, things that make me happy, general life updates, just like chilling and vibing, and as if a friend or family member was like sitting on the chair right here in my kitchen as I'm just here baking something delicious for both of us and just talking shit. That's what the vibe is. So that is not to say that this will be a repeating series on this channel, but maybe it will be. I don't know. But I suppose we'll just jump right into it. So as you saw by the title of this video, today's topic of conversation is going to be about how I am moving out of New York City and why I need to move out of New York City. Actually, let me clear the baking area because otherwise I'll just stand here and talk for 30 minutes. So we'll be baking cookies today. I do, in this moment, do not remember what kind of cookies they are. Soft gingerbread latte cookies with brown butter icing. I'm a brown butter bitch. You tell me there's brown butter, I'm gonna make it. Should I just say brown butter bitch? This is a half-baked harvest recipe. I got problems with her and that blog and that website and those recipes, but listen, she has thousands of them, which means there's bound to be something on there that's like worth the time and effort, you know? So if you missed it 2 videos ago, yeah, I think it was 2 videos ago is when I talked about, oh, it was my December plan with me, where I had mentioned that literally it was the day before I was gonna find out if I was going to be leaving New York City. Definitely recommend you go watch that video where I probably talk about this way more in depth, but if you missed it and just to get you caught up. So the update is that I am moving and I hadn't really mentioned it in any previous video. Like I said, I probably would, just because truthfully, I knew that the possibility of moving out of New York was there. It was definitely possible. In reality, like I don't think I was thinking that would be the case, so I think I assumed at the time that the update would be, oh yeah, we're staying in New York, like if anything, we're moving to Manhattan or we're moving to Queens or somewhere else in Brooklyn. But that is not the case. We are fully moving out of the city into a different state, into a different city, thankfully. But yeah, I just did not know how to just casually bring that up in the videos that I filmed since, and since I am gonna be having a very big life change in the summer, I'm not moving until the summer, I figured I'd have a lot to talk about, a lot to say about it, and I did not need to take up like 20 minutes of a vlog or a plan with me or something to get all of that out of my head and into the universe. So that's why we're making this video instead. So if you're interested and you want to hear my thoughts, then please watch until the end, because I have a lot of them. Or if you're just here to see the cookies, I guess, I don't know, what? Who cares? Or maybe you just want to know where I'm moving and then that is that. But I'm gonna leave you hanging for a few more seconds. So I already started gathering some ingredients. So in here I have room temp butter, dark brown sugar, molasses. Was I supposed to put that in here? No, sorry. This is molasses. The dark liquid in here is vanilla. And instant coffee. I did not consider the fact that I do not have an accessible outlet. It's all the way down there. Okay, we're moving the party over here. Whatever you see on the side of the kitchen, just ignore it. Next, I'm adding in half of an egg. Luckily, the recipe I made for dinner also needed half of an egg. Dinner and now dessert were both recipes that are cut in half because we simply just don't need that much food. Half of an egg, the other half did not go to waste, and then the molasses. Pretty sure I was supposed to add these in separately, but like, It definitely separated a little bit. The eggs, the butter, and the sugar. I think that's normal. And I think normally you're either supposed to keep mixing it until it's not, or you stop and it will eventually come together. I do not know. There are not instructions for that. I do not remember. We're just gonna keep on going and hope for the best. So I forget where we are in the story. Forgive me, I did not say this was gonna be in any sort of logical order. This is just stream of consciousness. It's also that time, I know this is a meme and everyone says it, but it's so true. It is that week between Christmas and New Year's right now where I don't know what time it is, I don't know what day it is. I'm feeling kind of just like lost in the sauce right now in a bunch of different ways, so the bar is low, the bar is low. But I don't remember if I said this yet or not. I really should stop touching my hair. I'm not giving these cookies to anyone, do not worry. They're just for me and my partner. But speaking of my partner, he is the reason that we are leaving. So very, very bittersweet. I cannot emphasize that enough. We are very excited, also slightly heartbroken, very excited for him and his new job opportunity that he has. Sad for our hopes and dreams for New York that are now crashing and dying. Just kidding, kind of. No, it's very bittersweet because if you had asked us, we both would say we prefer to be in New York a little bit longer, but that was not the case. So he was applying to fellowships. This is his last year of residency for being a doctor, and he applied to fellowships. So he spent the past couple months applying, interviewing, doing this whole thing. I explained this more in the video, I think, but there's a whole match process where essentially you don't know where you are going to end up. So he applied at 5 different programs. There was only one that was not based in New York. All the other ones were New York based in one way or another. I'm adding in the flour now. And let me just rant within the rant video for a second here. Why are we still at a place in society where recipes for baking that are posted online don't just go by weight measurements? I'm out here having to measure a cup of flour, a half of a third of a cup of molasses. Like, good God. Cooking, fine. But like baking, just weigh the ingredients out, or at least like put both options. And I am sure I've posted plenty of recipes on this channel of my own, and I'm sure I did not weigh out a single ingredient, but I've grown, I've changed, I understand the scientific process of baking a lot more, and this shit is just annoying. Okay, anyway, that rant's over. So it was about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now that we got the news that we will be moving to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Go Birds. We will be moving to Philly in June? Question mark. So to our shock, we will be not just leaving New York City, we'll be leaving New York State. Like I've been saying, it is incredibly bittersweet. We have been here for, once by the time that we move, we will have been here for 3 years. And in some circumstances, 3 years seems like a lot of time, but right now it seems like a blink, it seems like a flash, it seems like the quickest time. And I think that's the main reason we were both hoping to stay in New York. I mean, there was a lot of reasons we were hoping to stay, right? Like obviously we both have jobs here, and he was hoping to work within the same hospital system that he has been. We've fallen in love with the neighborhood in Brooklyn that we live in. There's still so much city left to explore, all of these things. So it just feels like time went by so quickly, and we kind of like just really started to get our bearings here. You know what I mean? Because it's like, for me, the first year, almost all of it was spent trying to find my first full-time job out of grad school. Also, I just know I'm gonna fuck something up in this recipe because I'm hella multitasking. I almost just put in way too much salt. So I spent like the entire first year, the first 9 months of living here, trying to find my first job, and I finally found it, and now by the time it's actually just about 2 years. January 9th is when I was hired, so it will be almost 2 years. So by the time I leave, it'll be about like 2.5 years. And, you know, I am grateful that in terms of like, you know, getting experience and having a job and all these things, you know, a lot of places, even the most entry-level jobs are like, we're looking for at least like 1 to 2 years experience, blah, 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 blah. So I have that now, and the job that I got, I don't talk about it a lot, but it is a really good job that I think will set me up really well for applying to jobs. But like, that's another thing now, I'm going to apply to jobs. Oh my God. I'm not quite ready to like process that yet. But all at the same time, we are very excited. The opportunity that Evan has to really like kickstart his career doing exactly the thing that he wants to do is very exciting. And overall, I think we're both just really grateful that it's not a quick turnaround of like, you need to move in like a month or less than a month, or even just a couple of months, right? Like we have a solid January, February, March, April, May, June, like 5 to 6 months. Because again, I don't know exactly when we're going to be moving. There's a lot of factors that play into that, but we need to be there by the end of June, early July. So at least 5 months, if not like 5.5 to 6. So that gives us time to identify all the things in the city that we want to do, the things that we haven't done, you know, those bucket list items, or returning to favorite places, make sure we go there enough, especially with all the little spots we love around our neighborhood. Maybe one day, like the first video I post after we leave will be like just talking about all of my favorite spots in my neighborhood, because I try not to talk about those things a lot for, you know, privacy, safety reasons, obviously. I actually keep saying I do need to start like a page on my Notion to just like honestly track all the things that we want to do. So between like restaurants we haven't gone to, restaurants that we want to go to, or sorry, restaurants that we haven't gone to, restaurants that we have been to but want to go to at least once, if not a bunch of more times, you know, different attractions, different things. So we have our dough. It looks like chocolate ice cream or chocolate mousse. Actually looks delicious. It's not chocolate at all though. So what you're supposed to do next is like roll it into balls and then roll it through sugar and then put it in the oven. There's already a lot of sweetness in here and you have to put icing on top. I don't really care to roll this in sugar, thanks but no thanks. I also, maybe this is a me problem, probably is a me problem. I don't trust a cookie recipe that doesn't tell you to put the dough in the refrigerator for at least like 20 minutes. And this is like so soft. Those cookies would flatten out into the flattest little discs. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. Fully was talking to the camera for like 2 minutes and it was not filming, but all that you missed was that some sort of time has elapsed and I realized I had not tried the cookie dough. I was just about to say that when the cookies are done, I'm gonna need to limit myself just to one because the coffee flavor is strong. I feel like people be sleeping on Folgers in terms of the strength of the caffeine sometimes. Does it taste good? No. Is the caffeine go straight to your heart? Yeah. So I'm gonna stop eating this. It's good though, it's good though. It's not very gingerbready. I literally had it all out and I forgot, again, distracted. I was gonna add cloves and like nutmeg and a little allspice because it didn't call for those, it just called for ginger and cinnamon. I feel like I'm a warm winter spicy gal, so I wanted a little bit more of that, forgot to put it in. So for the past couple of weeks or so, I'm just trying to keep the spirits merry and bright, and anytime I think of a reason that it will be good for us to be in Philly, I'll just randomly name it. So we'll be like sitting on the couch and I'll be like, hey Evan, and he'll be like, what? And I'll be like, we're gonna live close to Wawa again. Like just simple, silly stuff like that. Obviously the Eagles football is a big thing. Now we're gonna live in the city and hopefully be able to get to go to some games, so that's really exciting. Although we don't feel like we're done exploring New York City just yet, I think it will be fun to put down roots in another city, get the experience of living somewhere else. Evan has lived in Philly before. He did some of his undergrad in Philly. I have not lived in Philly. I've been to Philly a bunch just because growing up and living in Delaware, that's what you did. So we haven't been in quite a number of years actually. I mean, since we moved, so I'm excited to just like see what the neighborhoods are like, find the place that we want to live. We are very big like bar and food and restaurant people. That is how we spend a lot of our free time together, is just trying new restaurants around New York, around Brooklyn, around Manhattan, and now we can do that around Philly. Perhaps this should have been the first thing that I shared before football and restaurants and whatever else I have said, but we'll of course be closer to family. Both of our families live in Delaware, so we will still be farther, not as far as New York City. Philly is very, very close, which also means I'll have my car back. That was a whole saga from about this time last year. I mean, ever since we moved to the city, my car was a whole thing. I still technically have it. It's just in Delaware and under my mom's name right now, but I still pay for it. Whatever. I get to have my car back, which is exciting. I do miss driving. Ta-da! It is very much bothering me that we're missing one up here, but that's fine. I'm just hoping these stay relatively like puffy and don't flatten out. Also hoping the oven stays on because the oven be turning off. Yeah, oven be turning off sometimes. But every time I go home to Delaware now, how long do I bake these cookies for? 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, every time I go home to Delaware now and I get to drive my car, I'm just like, what do you mean I get to drive my car and go pick up some coffee from Wawa and go to the grocery store and load my groceries into the car and then like drive to my sister's house and be there in like 30 minutes and then drive home and then drive to go see someone else and then go drive to the store and then just be in my car and sing music that I'm way too old to be listening to at the top of my lungs. What do you mean? So fun. I'm excited. Obviously the subway and public transit has a special place in my heart. And there's a little bit of that in Philly. But speaking of the oven not working, that's another thing. It's bittersweet, but I am looking forward to moving. Just in the past like couple weeks and months in particular, this apartment has really grown to be the biggest pain in my ass, and I've complained about it a lot throughout like random videos on this channel. But just to like sum things up, we didn't have hot water basically for better part of like 5 months. The oven is consistently not working. Our roof was leaking for a very long time. Still is leaking, actually. The neighbors have mice. Landlord management is just so unattentive to everything. And it's just been a lot. That's not to say I'm not gonna miss this place, because I do truly love the idea of this apartment. I love being in an older building that has character. We have exposed brick. We have a loft. The appliances and the things in the kitchen and the bathroom might be old, but it works. It's just the two of us plus our cats. We don't need much. The cats love it. They love running back and forth. We have a really great balcony. I feel like we have a washer and unit. Y'all are propped up on my washer as we speak. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of potential. Long term though, it's just no. Even if we had the opportunity to stay in New York, we would have moved anyway, because this place is just falling apart and we pay too much in rent for it to, it just doesn't make sense anymore. It's too much stress. So going off that idea, cost of living in Philly is obviously going to be cheaper. Hopefully we can afford something better. At this point, I don't know what job I'm going to have. I'm hopeful that I will have a job, since I'm gonna have 6 months to look for one basically. And I can imagine just cost of living is cheaper, so my salary will probably go down, but even still, like, we've been just casually looking at apartment options, and it seems like we won't have to worry about getting into a nice place that fits our needs, is maybe a little bit of an upgrade, but isn't more rent at all. So while the cookies are baking, I am getting started on the frosting, which has the browned butter and a little bit of vanilla and powdered sugar. So I am browning the butter right now. So what else? Closer to family, car, football, friends. I have 2 friends in Philly, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 2 more friends than I have in New York. No, we have, when we moved here, one of my dear friends from high school, him and his girlfriend live at our old apartment. They lived like super close to us, which was like just by chance we happen to end up kind of in the same-ish neighborhood. Ever since we moved, we're a little bit farther away now, and unfortunately we don't see them as much as we should. So that will be on our kind of goals list of things to do in New York before we leave. But it was really nice to move here and like have familiar faces. But honestly, like, we haven't, outside of like coworkers, we haven't really met many people. I'm friends with one of my old neighbors now because we trauma bonded over the bullshit of our apartment issues. But I don't know, and I think that's one of the reasons that like moving is also kind of unsettling. It's just like, I feel like I didn't have enough time to like build a community here or find a community here. And that's not to say that I didn't try. I think I talked about this in my, I'm assuming my last video was my January plan with me and like 2025 reset, but I had a part-time job that I started before I got my full-time job. Then I kept that part-time job for I think like at least a year and a half. I think I was really hoping that I would find my people there, because like it's less serious than a full-time job, and it was a bunch of young people coming together. And it just, I don't know if it's because I was slightly older or I'm just socially awkward or person, I don't know. I don't know. Didn't really make friends there either, so. Okay, check the cookies. I'm gonna keep them going for a little bit longer. So it will be nice to move to Philly and already have 2 friends there, and then be closer just to our other friends who are kind of spread out between Delaware and like other surrounding states. And it's also just harder to get people to come to New York, like understandably. I was not expecting like anyone to really come visit us, and a couple of people did. But it will just be easier if people want to come visit us in Philly. Great. I can't wait to host at our new apartment. And then we also have easier means, just like transportation wise and work schedule wise, to people to go visit our friends and family more often. I think that's done. I think that is done. Yes, liquid gold. The cookies are out. I'm gonna let them cool for a little bit while we keep chatting. So honestly, I feel like the biggest thing that's been on my mind is the entire job situation of both the time, energy, and effort to find a new job, but then also just the sadness to leave my current job, which is so funny. So funny. Because if you only knew how sad and anxious and stressed and scared and just burnt out and overwhelmed I was because of my job when I first started, if you had told Sarah of a little over a year ago that she would get to a point where she wasn't ready to leave her first job and actually wanted to stay despite given the opportunity, not opportunity, there's no opportunity to keep working there. I can't. I would if I could. But essentially, given the opportunity to leave, she would stay is so interesting to me. And just what a turnaround that has been. And I'm incredibly grateful for that because there was a point in time where it wasn't the job, or I should say, it was not the people, it was not the job environment, it was just the work itself and still being burnt out from grad school, not knowing what I wanted to do, still feeling new and uncomfortable in the city. There's a lot of factors that played into it. So to be able to now be 2 years into the job and have so much appreciation and love and gratitude for the job itself, for the people that I work with, my coworkers, my boss, are like, I lucked out times affinity. Like, right, no place is perfect and I have no like ideal situation, I guess, that I'm striving for, but I feel like I got so damn lucky with my first job. Just the kind of support that I have there, the relationships that I formed, the experiences that I've got, like, oh my, I'm literally like getting chills thinking about it. It's just absolutely wild. So I'm so grateful that I came around to actually kind of finding my place there, because that first almost year or so, I don't know, it's so hard to explain without going like further into it, but long story short, I guess. So I have my master's in health promotion. I also am a national board certified health and wellness coach. So predominantly my job in the beginning was health coaching, and I didn't even apply to health coaching jobs when we moved to New York because I was doing so much coaching for grad school and then even the little time after grad school. It was one of those things, in retrospect, I can look back now and be like, oh, I grew a negative association in my mind with coaching because I was doing, you know, this really intensive grad school program that had a lot of aspects of that I did not enjoy, and just grad school itself was very stressful. I did grad school during all of COVID. Yeah, we didn't go in person until like the last semester. So it was a time. And I think, you know, there are certain things about coaching. Like I said, nothing's perfect. I'm never going to fully like probably anything 100%, except for baking. You know, there are aspects about the field itself where I'm just like, I don't vibe with it, right? Like I'm a to myself, independent, shy, anxiety-ridden, introverted person. So to kind of be on for multiple hours a day, like talking to people in that capacity, like can be a lot for my mental health. But I do feel like I had such a negative mindset going into my job because I was not seeking out a coaching position, at least right away. I was really hoping to just like take a break from it because I felt like it was causing me so much stress during grad school. And it wasn't just grad school itself, like the coaching was a lot. So it was kind of funny when I ended up finding my way into a health coaching position. And I will say as well that like my job developed over time where, like I said in the beginning, I was predominantly just like one-on-one coaching with people like all day, every day. That was what I did. Whereas now I'm more in like a admin managerial type of position. So I'm still doing coaching, but I'm also like overseeing other coaches and doing all these things, and like that, chef's kiss. Love that type of work. I really love like the educational, mentory side of coaching. And I don't know. Not sure what that means for my next job, but all that to say, I really do enjoy the work that I do right now. I love the hybrid schedule that I have. I love working in the city. I love having an excuse to go into Manhattan. And it's just cool. Things have been pretty cool. And I will be sad to, I did already announce, I'm not just like putting information out on the internet. My job knows. Everyone knows. Everyone is aware. They all knew this was a possibility before it even happened, but very bittersweet in that regard. I'm excited to try something new. I don't know what I'm gonna try. Is it gonna be coaching? Is it not gonna be coaching? I have no idea. And I have time to look, thankfully, but yeah, man, I was hoping to at least get like a solid 1 or 2 more years more out of that job. I'm rambling so much now. I'm just grateful that I stuck with it, because there was definitely a time there where I for sure thought I might quit after that year, because I was just so in my head. And so, I mean, that's why I started therapy. And I guess it worked, because here I am. Now I love my job. Well, I guess you know you've been talking too much. When your camera battery dies. So I let that charge for a little bit. I should probably get another battery. It's whatever. I went ahead and made the frosting. It is quite thick, and I think I'm supposed to be able to like dunk them before it sets up, or like drizzle it or something. So I'm gonna add just like a touch of water because I don't have any more milk. I did try it though. It's okay. I mean, it's powdered sugar with butter, so as expected. The brown butter is definitely coming through. I think I've just learned that when it comes to frosting, I'm a cream cheese frosting for like every type to bake good person, and that's for 2 reasons, right? Like cream cheese frosting objectively is just delicious, but then I think what I am learning that I don't care for about like buttercream frostings or butter-based frostings is that they tend to just taste like sugar. Like cream cheese frostings taste sweet, obviously, but like this quite literally just tastes like I'm eating liquefied powdered sugar, and I'm not a fan of that. Okay. It is giving, I know you can't see it, it is giving coffee vibes. It looks like it could be the foam on top of a coffee. But I guess that's basically all I have to say. I'm gonna put these back on here and then I think drizzle them, let them harden, and then I'll move them off the pan again. I don't know, I was gonna dunk them, but I don't know, let's drizzle, that seems fun. But anyway, I guess that is all I have to say about the move. I could probably keep talking for hours and hours, especially I'm sure family members and Evan are like tired of hearing me talk about it, but it's just a big life change. This is a really big life change. It was a big life change to move to New York, and it's gonna be a big life change to move out of New York. But overall, I'm excited for this next chapter, excited to explore a new city, a new neighborhood with my fiance, soon to be husband. If you live in Philly or have lived in Philly and have neighborhood recommendations for living in, please let me know. We have a couple of ideas of what areas might make the most sense, but we are open to exploring, and we'll probably be making our way down there sometime in the spring to start apartment hunting. That is what will be nice about moving outside of New York, is that we don't have to make a move within like, the way that it is in New York, it's like you don't sign a lease months in advance like you do in other places. It's like you go apartment hunting and sign a lease and move in all within like a month, a couple of weeks, maybe a month if you're lucky. So it'll be nice to be somewhere again where, oh boy, we have a little bit of extra time and can sign a place a little bit more in advance, which will give us a good peace of mind, I do believe. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So it is also sad, I guess, to think about, you know, the New York City adventures in terms of this channel kind of coming to an end at some point. But I hope that just means that over the next couple of months, I will have more good New York content to share, because I know I'm like kind of bad about doing things outside of my apartment. But that also means we have fun Philly vlogs and Philly content to do. And I hope that means I will see my friend Tiara more, who is also a content creator. We've been in like a couple of each other's vlogs maybe, like I have not filmed with her or seen her in years, so that will be exciting. Didn't come out quite as cute as I'd hoped. You know, I'm out here trying. It's the taste that counts, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna taste good, so we're fine. Okay, well, let's see. Cheers. That is a good cookie. I'm getting mostly cinnamon. It's not giving really gingerbread. I know I left them in the oven a little bit longer than it said. Our oven's a hot mess. I never really know with her. But I'm kind of impressed by how like, yeah, just like hard and crunchy it is on the bottom, and then the top still feels quite soft. I'd be curious to see if like come tomorrow that is still the case. But it's good. The coffee flavor definitely cuts the sweetness a little bit. I am still yearning for more of that gingerbread, so that is disappointing. But in terms of like how the cookie baked, how it came out, the frosting, it was all pretty good. That's a solid like 7 out of 10. I kind of want to say 6, but that feels mean. Well, we'll just go with 7. Go with 7. The cookies are done, which means I should probably be done talking. So that is my little life update. We have more time in New York, luckily, but that time is limited. Pretty soon I will be filming from a new apartment in Philly. But thank you all for being here with me today. If you want to try this cookie recipe out for yourself, again, it is not mine. I will link it down below. This was really fun to do, very chill, very relaxed, so if I find another reason to film a video like this, I definitely will. But I hope you're having a lovely day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, and I will see you at the next one.